Hello.
This is the case of Miller versus Rasmussen.
Thank you, Jerome. Good day, everyone. Good day. Ms. Miller, you're here to prove to your ex-boyfriend, Scotty Rasmussen, that he is not the father of your 3-year-old daughter, Zaylee Rasmussen.
Yes, Your Honor.
You claim you've been in an ongoing court battle over custody and have petitioned the court several times for a DNA test, all of which have been denied.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Rasmussen, you claim the real reason Ms. Miller is denying your Zaylee's father is because she hates you.
Yes, Your Honor.
You say you've been there for your daughter?
It always hits different when a court case isn't just about facts. It's about lives. Right from the start, you feel how much this means to both sides. This isn't just legal drama, it's emotional survival. And today, we're watching a man who believes he's a father, standing inches away from the truth that might destroy him.
I drive 160 miles every other weekend just to pick up my daughter and drop her off. That's about 10,000 miles. That's wear and tear on my car. She doesn't have a driver's license. She doesn't have any way to bring her to me. She doesn't have any way to meet me halfway.
You say she hates you? Why does she hate you?
She hates me because at the end of the relationship, when things got rocky, I'll admit it, I did go to another woman. I'll be the first to admit that. You know, it was my mistake.
Is that true, Ms. Miller?
No.
It's not?
No.
Tell me what you believe to be true in this situation.
Yes, I was very mad at him for being a cheater. He cheated on me through pretty much our whole relationship. No, I do not hate him because of that. I lost my respect for him, yes.
He says this is about visitation, too. He loves his daughter, but you don't want him to have the visitation. Is that true?
Yes, Your Honor.
Why is that?
Because I believe that the only reason why he wants the visitation is to claim her on his taxes.
That is the furthest thing from the truth. I want my visitation because my daughter means the world to me.
160 miles every other weekend. That's not just gas, it's grit. You don't do that if you don't care. And when someone is willing to exhaust themselves like that for a child, you can't just dismiss it as he wants a tax claim. That kind of accusation stings, and it makes you wonder what this fight is really about.
Why is it you don't want him involved in this child's life?
Because I still believe that he's not hers.
Now we start to see what's underneath the surface. This isn't just about DNA. This is about betrayal, mistrust, hurt, and maybe even revenge. But the tragedy is, the child is stuck in the middle of it all. And once you bring a child into the world, your personal drama isn't just personal anymore.
So, Mr. Rasmussen, up until Zaylee was 5 or 6 months old, you believed you were the only possible biological father.
That is correct. We never broke up. There was never any that I can recall. There was never any split there. A relationship was on and off in a sense, but we never.
But by that time she was born, so she already had your name.
She already had my name.
Did you sign the birth certificate?
That is correct.
Your name's on the birth certificate.
I have
Jerome,
that right.
will you hand me that, please?
I have that right here. My name is on that birth certificate.
This right here feels like the first real crack in his armor. Imagine thinking for months that a child is yours, only to suddenly have someone plant a seed of doubt. It is not just about biology. It's about identity, belonging, everything you thought you knew about your own life.
I went home, quickly changed my clothes, and I drove about 45 miles through a winded, wooded road in Wisconsin in December, mind you, so it was about a foot of snow on the ground. I made it to that hospital in less than 35 minutes. I beat her to the hospital, and I was there from the moment she got there to the moment she was discharged. I called my boss at work and said, hey, I gotta take some days off. I don't care if you fire me or whatever, but I gotta stay here. My daughter's being born.
That's a lie.
You can hear the pride in his voice, how badly he wanted to be there for the birth, how much effort he put into making it. And even though their relationship was broken, he showed up. Sometimes it is not the perfect love story, but the imperfect efforts that show you who really cares.
I know she's not.
So, Mr. Rasmussen, what type of visitation do you have right now?
Right now, it's every other weekend, but I've had to jump through so many hoops to get to this point. At first, it was that fly-by-night, just make a date whenever you want to and, you know, go from there. But obviously that didn't work. And then sometime after that, we started out where I had to sit with Miss Miller and my daughter at a park for 4 hours once a week for 4 weeks. And then after that, I got her for 4 hours once a week for 4 weeks by myself without her involvement. And then after that, I got her for 1 overnight a week for 4 weeks. And then after those 4 weeks, then I got what I have now.
This moment right here broke me. The man's not rich. He doesn't have the resources. But you can feel he's doing everything in his power just to create small, joyful memories with this little girl. It's quiet love, real love.
In the case of Miller versus Rasmussen, when it comes to 3-year-old Zaylee Rasmussen, it has been determined by this court. Mr. Rasmussen, you are not the father.
And just like that, everything crumbles. You can hear the silence. You can feel it. This isn't TV anymore. This is the exact moment a man's identity as a father is ripped away. He's been building a life around a lie. And worst of all, it wasn't his lie.
She's my whole world. Everything I do is for her. She was the reason I went to work every day.
I know you have a bond with her.
I feel like my whole world is in ruins now.
Oh.
That moment, his voice breaks, and it feels like the whole courtroom freezes. We saw a man walk in with certainty, with fight, and leave with nothing but grief. That's not just a heartbreak. That's a collapse.
Miss Miller, I'm going to say this to you before I adjourn court. Your child deserves to know who her father is. Whether or not that man wants to be in her life, physically present and participate. He does have a legal obligation to help support her financially. It's important that you make this right. She'll one day ask, where's my father? Every action you take from this point will write the story that you will later have to tell her. I wish you the best of luck. We have counseling for you. Court is adjourned.
Judge Lake's final words are a warning, not just to Ms. Miller, but to anyone watching. You cannot play chess with a child's life. The truth will come out, and when it does, it leaves scars. Let this case be a mirror. Are we protecting our children, or are we just punishing each other?